Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another meeting of the Raynham Board of Selectmen. The minutes, gentlemen?
Motion to approve as printed.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Department heads, committees, we will wait. We have no appointments this evening. We do have a public hearing. Is Jeannie Mitchell here?
Yes.
Jeannie, would you come to the podium, please?
Here?
Yes, please. That way there we can all hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Would you tell us a little bit about what you plan to do here?
Just a astrology business type, selling crystals, doing some tarot readings.
How long have you been doing this?
Oh my goodness, over 10 years now. I have my business in Seekonk.
Okay.
I'm licensed there. I have been licensed in Fall River also, Somerset.
Okay. Gentlemen,
Are you
questions?
closing your, is it Seekonk you said?
Yes.
Are you closing Seekonk or keeping both?
I'm keeping both.
Okay. You'll go between both or you won't be at one of them?
Well, I'll be on appointments, so I'll
Okay.
be going in between.
Is it just you or are you gonna have other?
No, just me.
Okay.
Is this, all right, where is this located, actually? 407 Route 44. Is this in one of the strip malls, or where is it?
It's in Dean Plaza.
In Dean's Plaza?
Yeah, across the
Okay.
street from the Papagino's,
Okay.
Dunkin' Donuts,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there.
Trends is in there? Is that the one Trends is in? No, or did they move?
No, it's got
Trends
a
moved up
tanning
to the other one.
salon. It's got, I think, the Mexican restaurant not too far.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Richard?
No, I have nothing else to add, Madam Chair.
Motion to approve.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think the main reason was that I really wanted to see you. Because, number one, we do not get very many fortune tellers to come in looking for a license.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I would like to see whether I have a little old lady with gray hair that's got a crystal ball that's going to tell me all my life story, or what I am going to find. So your business will be by appointment only?
Yeah, well, I want to be at the office in Raynham from like Friday to Saturday, from 10 o'clock in the morning to like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. And just like 6 days a week. And then at my other office, I'll be, more like by appointment.
I see. So this
Yeah.
will be your main office?
Yes, because the other office is my home and office, so it's combined.
Oh, I see.
So that's why I'd be going by appointment.
Okay. Now, are you working alone, or do you have other readers?
No, just me.
Just you?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, your license has been granted, so
Oh, why, thank
therefore you
you.
can start telling everybody all about themselves.
I look forward to it. So where do I go to?
You'll see Mr. Buckner.
Okay, so just stand outside, just wait?
The first office on the left is going out.
All
The
right.
last, actually, it's the last office on the left there.
So Mr. Buckman.
Yeah.
All right,
When
thank
will you
you
have
all.
that? Go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, tomorrow, she doesn't meet tonight.
Not right now.
Tomorrow? Okay, so am I all set here?
Yes, you are.
Thank you all. Have a great night.
Thank you. Brendan, you're up
I'm up for the,
for our special town meeting.
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just a couple of items here I'm going to go over briefly, if at the Selectmen's, with the Selectmen's permission. During our capital this year, we came up with about 9 articles here. There was one that came up with some, led to some thoughtful discussion, and we'll go back over that later. But the vast majority went well, and I'll lead off with the first one on the agenda here. Article 1 for capital was to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $175,000 for the balance needed for the purchase of a new engine pumper and to transfer from the fire engine pumper stabilisation account the sum of 250,000 to complete the purchase of the fire engine / pumper for the fire department, or take any action relative thereto. That was approved by Capital unanimously. The next article was to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash the sum of 34,200 for the firefighters' turnout gear, coats, pants, etc., or take any action relative thereto. The NFPA recommends this gear to be replaced every 5 years, but it's not mandatory at this time. And the current gear is coming up to 5 years in April 2013. Finance had a couple of issues relative to that. And yeah, if you'd like to talk to that, Wayne. Or do you want to do it later, or it's up to you?
Excuse me, I'd like to address that. We will incidentally, I'm sure, recommend in favor of this article. However, the article bothered me when we discussed it, because I believe that the spirit of the capital meeting, the capital committee as such, is to address items with over 3 years and over $10,000. I think that when you lump items like these uniforms, and I'm sure that they're needed, but when you lump these items and exceed 10,000, I don't believe it's in the spirit of us deferring from the May operational budgets to the fall budgets. However, last year we did not include in our instructions this thought that says, look, if you have a sum of items that basically exceed the capital hurdle, but not individually, such as the question of gear here, please include them in your operating budgets, because basically, as far as we're concerned, they are operating expenses, the same as fire hoses and many other examples. So basically, though, we will include in our instruction letter this year, please do not defer these items. These are operating items. Include them in your budgets, whether you want to space them one-fifth every year, or if you want to do it every 5 years, but nevertheless, when we put instructions out for fiscal 14, I am sure we will put an instruction in that says, please do not defer, these are operating expenses. However, since we didn't do this, and this really is not the first time I've ever addressed this, I think that it would be unfair not to recommend it now, because I'm sure this is safety equipment, and I'm sure that that the past practice has been to defer these. That when I went back and thought about it, I said, well, I'm sure they haven't got enough in their budgets to do this, so that I think the only fair thing the Finance Committee should do is to basically warn everyone that next year, these kind of items that you lump and meet the hurdle rate, we will not recommend them unless the selectmen put them on as an emergency item, which of course you can do any time you feel there's an emergency. So I'm sure that I haven't discussed this in total with the committee because we haven't met for until prior to this warrant, but I believe that the committee will agree that that's a fair approach to the thing. So thank you, Brendan.
You're very welcome, Wayne. Based on that analysis, I believe that Capital should go forward and recommend this article to go forward at the November town meeting. The next article is to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash a sum of $10,000 for noise reduction headsets for 2 fire department fire engine pumpers, or take any relative action there too. My understanding is this article didn't come before us, and Randy can...
Yeah, I'm going to move that out of the capital section. It's actually, Mrs. Smith met with the Fire Department Safety Committee, and this is a health and safety item that we agreed to put on, and it's not actually a capital item. There's two sets for each of the trucks.
Thanks, Randy. And the next article to follow on that is to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash a sum of $17,136 for an upgrade to the police department's current telephone system to an IP office-based system, or take any action relative thereto. We recommend that. It's going to help to assist in tying in the whole telephone system for fire and safety and police.
Finance Committee will agree to that recommendation also.
It goes on to say the current system is antiquated and will be increasingly more difficult to service, as well as higher maintenance fees. Upgrading to an IP office-based system will cut maintenance fees by approximately 50% and will offer a more reliable system that is feature-rich. The next article is to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash a sum of $72,000 for 2 unmarked police vehicles, or take any relative action thereto. Police did request 3 vehicles. They did accept with reservations 2. I talked to the chief relative to this, and obviously he would like me to warn me in future for next year that he would like to get 3. If the free cash at that time is available, obviously we'll consider that at that time. The next article is to see if the town will vote to transfer from stormwater infrastructure. Sorry.
Richard had a question.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Did you mean that the chief wants 3 more next year, or the 3rd one next year?
He
Oh, no, 3 more.
requested 3 this year.
Yeah, I understood
And
that.
he did make future, he advocated in future, which is next year,
Yep.
for 3.
3 additional.
3 additional.
Yeah, okay. I just want to be sure I understood it.
In the
Thank-
good times, we've been given police 3 on a regular basis.
Right.
And obviously in the last fiscal
So,
years,
so-
we've been moved down to 2.
Well, so let me ask this question, Brendan. So if the police ask for 3 this year, and you all are recommending 2, what are they doing to make up for that, for that deficiency, so to speak, according to their request? What
Well,
is their backup plan?
They would have, in a perfect world, they would have got 3. But he said he had some staff, lower staff this year, and he could get by. But again, in a perfect world, he did ask for 3, and he would like to get 3. But in conjunction with the rest of capital, we came to the conclusion that this year we only can give him 2. And basically that's the analysis on that issue.
I'd like to make a comment.
Sure.
On that also. For many years, excuse me, for many years, the Finance Committee has questioned the philosophy of having so many vehicles, even though that the philosophy of the town has always been to assign an individual vehicle to an individual driver, so that consequently, at any time you go by the police station, it appears that we're stocking police cars. I've been questioned about this by taxpayers, saying, why do we have so many police cars? Finance Committee, for the last 4 or 5 years anyway, has questioned the philosophy, saying that almost all industry uses fleets, and they run fleets by using multiple drivers, signing vehicles in and out. I know the town's philosophy for a number of years is that the vehicles last much longer because they're driven much less, but of course you have 3 or 4 more than you would normally have. And that basically a vehicle is maintained better if there's one person assigned to it. I question that philosophy myself because I work for two public companies that ran fleets of cars and fleets of trucks, and then believe me, these assets were very costly, so we did not have them sitting idle in the parking lot, nice and clean. We basically had a driver when he brought it in, the chauffeur got out, the vehicle was immediately checked, and any repairs are made if necessary, and a new driver got in and took off for California or wherever he was going. So again, the Finance Committee will agree to the recommendation here because that's the town philosophy that's established. I personally would be very happy to see this philosophy changed, and so would other members on the Finance Committee, saying that it just appears to be an unnecessary expense, having so many cars normally parked so that our taxpayers can drive by at any hour of the day and admire them.
Well, I mean, may I? Madam Chair?
Certainly.
Let me just make one quick, because you touched on both sides of the issue, Dwayne.
Yes.
But there is a strong sentiment at school of thought that having a sense of ownership for a vehicle does in fact help the vehicle to last longer. And so on a cost-benefit basis, if we're trading vehicles in less frequently, there may in fact be a financial advantage to keeping them longer as opposed to farming them out to whoever is on duty at that particular moment. So, I'd have to say that in the bigger scheme of things, assigning a car to an individual, it does have some real advantages, and I'm not sure that it's less cost effective, to be honest with you.
I agree. Thank you, because that's the other side of the argument, obviously. And
I did speak to Chief Donovan relative to finance's concerns, and he hopes and expects to come up with a more in-depth analysis on why one policeman, one car works better for his department.
Thank you.
Right now, I believe they're using 2 officers to a vehicle. And to answer the other question, when I spoke to the chief regarding the vehicles, he also said that it was because his staff, he didn't have everybody working. We've had 3 people out there, so obviously that other vehicles that they would have been using have been dormant, so they're still good to go. That's why he could do with the 2 this year. But under, normal circumstances, he would request the 3.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda was to see if the town will vote to transfer from Stormwater Infrastructure Stabilization Account the sum of $50,000 for the purpose of providing professional services, land acquisitions, materials and construction contract obligations in order to make improvements to town infrastructure, or take any action relative thereto, and that was submitted by the Highway Department. We concurred unanimously with that request. The next article was to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $10,000 for the replacement of a waste oil heater in the highway garage, or take any action relative thereto. We had thoughtful discussion on that as well, until we came to a concrete decision that it was one waste oil heater for the $10,000 requested. So that did trigger the capital planning, a capital planning item. So we concurred with that request. The next article is to see if the town will vote to transfer from free cash a sum of $85,000 to a new stabilisation account for the purpose of purchasing a street sweeper for the Highway Department, or take any action relative thereto. Just a quick background on this. Mr. Stolte, Roger Stolte, the Highway Department Chief, has been advocating for this article from approximately 2004. And he did put a large cost improvement into it a number of years ago, but feels that this item is at the end of his ropes, as it were. Street sweeping in the town of Raynham is my understanding is mandated by the state, and I totally concur with this, and so did Capital and Finance. We hope to, all things being equal, finance the balance of this next year which is approximately another 85,000. And all things going well, we hope to be able to do that. So we recommend that that stabilization account being set up. The next article is see if the town will transfer from free cash a sum of 100,000 to the general stabilization account, or take any relative action thereto. And we all concurred with this. This was unused free cash. It needs to the stabilization account of the town needs to be shored up a little more. We would like, obviously, to have a lot more in there. But this, to use rounding, we'll roughly have about $1 million in there with that injection of $100,000. And that's all I have tonight for you, Selectmen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brendan.
The Finance Committee strongly recommends this transfer of $100,000 to the stabilization account. We had a stabilization account about 4 or 5 years ago. You remember, about $1,200,000, which was, excuse me, Department of Revenue a recommendation. We took it all the way down to about $250,000, but we've been building it back up so that I feel that this is a very prudent move to bring us back up to approximately $1 million, $1,010,000. I think this is a good move on our behalf, because we never know when stabilization is really going to have to be hit.
I want to thank you both, and Brendan especially, for your work that you do on the capital planning, because you do review every single article with them. And if it's on there, I feel very confident that you've asked every question that you possibly could.
Thank you.
Do you have any
I would
comments?
just echo your comments. I had the privilege to serve with Brendan on Capital for 2 years before joining this board, and I can speak in depth to Brendan's qualifications and the diligence he and his committee and previous committees have provided to this process. And it's, in my opinion, another great set of articles. So my appreciation to you, Brendan.
Yeah, I would like to add one last comment to the others that have been made. I think it's great for the town of Raynham that Capital Planning and Finance Committee both work so closely together and cooperate toward the common good. And I think this is a real plus for this town. Congratulations on your work together.
Thank you both very much.
Brendan?
Okay. Oh, should we take a vote? Do we need a vote on this, Randy?
No, next week.
Next week? We'll all be set next week? Okay.
Other articles to, as
Right.
non-capital items. So
Right.
but next week I'll need a vote in the final warrant.
Okay. Town Administrator's report?
And we just basically just covered that, except for the solar facility and zoning bylaw. If the board chooses to put that on, the board would need to sponsor it and send it to the planning board for public hearing.
Do you need that tonight, Randy? or-
Yes, yeah.
I would motion to approve for inclusion.
I'm sorry, what are we,
We would have to
The solar
approve
bylaw.
it, so planning board can have a hearing
Oh.
on it.
well, I've raised the question several times about the zoning law applying to installations that were 250 kilowatts and larger. And the question I have raised, and I'm not sure that we have a final answer yet, is why are we not considering this zoning law applying to all commercial applications as opposed to just 250 kilowatts and larger, which in effect is an array in today's technology that's an acre in size that can provide power to almost 50 homes. And so therefore, if somebody comes in under this descriptor of 250 kilowatts and larger, if they came in and put in a system of 249 kilowatts, these bylaws would not apply. And I'm not sure that provides the protection to the town that I would like to see. And so I, again, request that some consideration be given to having this bylaw apply to all commercial applications. Residential, of course, would be excluded naturally. And I'm waiting to see what final result there is on that request.
Did you get any email from Marilyn?
Yes, I did.
Did she answer your question? Because I saw that you did
Yeah,
ask that.
I asked that question of Marilyn, and she said that she had approached our legal people, and they had indicated they felt the 250K and larger was appropriate, but the rationale for that did not resonate with me, to be honest with you. I mean, they have a point which I'm not clear on, because it just seems to me to be common sense for the bylaw to apply to all commercial applications.
I spoke with Marilyn. She is okay with removing, you see what's within, do you have the bylaw?
Yeah, no, I don't have the bylaw.
Okay. It's in the,
Oh, which one is it?
Page
Oh, okay, it's
4.
over here, sorry.
if we removed what's within the parentheses there, the 250 kilowatt or larger and covering 1 acre.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right.
Then the bylaw would apply to all ground-mounted as opposed to roof-mounted.
So just removing that 250 kilowatts.
And she was okay. She wanted the board to make that
I make a
decision.
motion then to approve striking that one sentence, but leaving all other aspects of it in 10.
Absolutely, I second
And
that.
that
That
would
would-
cover what we discussed at the
Absolutely.
meeting.
That's the way to go. I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Done, thank you.
Okay, that will take care of that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's your
I'm still on.
turn, Randy.
Assistant Building Inspector, I'm meeting with Mr. Santos on Thursday afternoon to go over all aspects of the job with him. We have a meeting tomorrow on this, and it's in correspondence, and it's a proposed Army Reserve training facility on Church Street at the old winery vineyard. The letter is from the Department of the Army. They talk about what's going to happen there. The letter says the facility would typically be used for limited vehicle maintenance and classroom instruction during normal workday hours, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Military exercises would not be conducted on site, nor would live ammunition be discharged there. And we are meeting with representatives of the Army tomorrow at 9 a.m. In Marilyn's office. So. And the board is certainly welcome to attend.
Randy, I don't know if my schedule would permit it, but I don't know if I'm speaking for my colleagues on this either, but I would have some hesitation on it. I mean, most Army facilities I've seen in the past have chain link fence and barbed wire, and I don't know that those would be too aesthetically pleasing to our residents on Church Street. And so my only comment at the time, where we don't have much information from them, would be to try to ascertain tomorrow how much they're talking about in terms of security. I mean, and if it's a facility like the one that's coming to my mind, there might be other more appropriate locations in town for this to be situated, as opposed to almost exclusively residential area. So if I cannot make it tomorrow, if you would extend those
Sure, yes.
comments.
I think one of the concerns too that we would, in reading this, be what type of a parking area. They talk about a parking area. Would all this have to go to a site plan from the planning board, or because it's a federal facility, is it just carte blanche that they can just?
I know it's it's exempt from zoning. I don't know if that
Yes.
means, I guess that means it's exempt from site plan, because site plan is zoning,
Regarding
part
the
of zoning
zoning.
bylaw, so it's a little troublesome.
So in other words, it is very troublesome to me.
At least in a residential area.
It definitely is, so. If you can be here too, Richard, at 9, I don't know if your schedule will allow, but we'll see. Continue. Sorry to
Okay,
have
that's-
interrupted you.
Serpent's sponsoring some workshops on municipal energy efficiency and solar energy at UMass this fall and winter, and I may attend one or both of those. Upcoming Sausage monthly meeting on Wednesday of next week at 9 o'clock at Easton Town Hall, and the Home Consortium has its quarterly meeting in Taunton on Thursday, October 4th at 8:30 a.m. And the Home Consortium, as it says, is a consortium of regional cities and towns that decides on distribution of regional HUD funds.
Good. Does anyone have any questions for Randy? No? Selectmen's report, does anybody have anything? None? None. correspondence. We have the re-award for the salt contract.
Motion to approve as recommended.
All in favor? Aye. And solid waste professional service contract for tie and bond.
Motion to approve as recommended.
All in favor? Aye. Mass DOT, what do they want? Oh, this is regarding the intersection improvements at Route 44. They're going to be doing land taking and what have you up in that area. We did have the meeting here, so that was self-explanatory. Do you need help making repairs to your home? Greater Attleboro Taunton Home Consortium, through the City of Taunton Office of Economic and Community Development, may be able to help. There are repairs that are eligible and not eligible, and there are eligibility requirements. The property must be occupied by the eligible building owner. This is not a grant, it's an assistance that's provided to owner-occupied homeowners in the form of a 0% loan due and payable at the time of sale, refinancing, of transfer of deeds. Now, you should know more about this than us, so if you'd like to say a couple of words on it, or do
Yeah, I
you?
mean, it's a great program for those who meet the eligibility requirements and, who are in need of improvements to their homes that they otherwise wouldn't be able
It's
to.
quite a list of
It is.
things that can be done.
It's a program that's had some real success in communities like Wareham in the past, and so it's good that it's moving its way towards us.
Is this almost like that self-help program that they had?
To an
with the-
extent, yeah.
To an extent, it's
Yeah.
like that, because I know several people took advantage of that, and it was a great
Yeah,
benefit.
and it's very similar to the facade grants that commercial entities are eligible for in
Good.
33 days.
Good. So if you need any information regarding this, would you contact the Greater Taunton, Attleboro Taunton Home Consortium, phone number 508-821-1030, and get a list of the repairs. We should post this too, Randy, maybe for the people to be able to see it. This is the acceptance of a public way for Whippoorwill Woods Estates. The letter is a draft of an article for inclusion on the warrant in behalf of 11 Central Street LLC, the current owner of the fee in the roadways. I don't know if you want to peruse
I
this.
had a
And
chance to look at it.
haven't had a chance to
No,
look at it?
I have.
We can put it on the warrant, but it's
Has to,
contingent on recommendation of the finance, planning board and highway.
Planning Board and Highway, so we'll
Yeah,
put it
that's
on the
how I-
warrant.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Raves Dunkin' Cares for Kids fundraiser. We're having a Dunkin' Donuts,
That's a great event, Madam Chairman.
is it?
Yes, I was able to attend the announcement of that today.
Really?
They will be selling reusable, recyclable mugs
Yeah,
that people can buy, I believe, for $10, and then
yeah.
they can go to a Dunkin' Donuts and have them filled with a medium coffee for 99 cents.
Every time you use your Dunkin' Donut Care for Kids mugs.
Mm-hmm.
Through to December 31st. And it's a tax-deductible donation. It will support the Raynham schools, and Brave is sponsoring it. So everybody, Dunkin' Donuts. Which, is it all Dunkin' Donuts or
It
Raynham's
isn't-
Dunkin'
well,
Donuts?
there's Raynham ones for this, but Taunton is going to have a similar program. And,
Really?
And there's the two owners of the Dunkins in Raynham, Aaron Mello and,
Yep.
and Seb Agapiti, I think, should be commended. And if we can do a letter to them, Randy, thanking both of them. Because this was one of their brainchilds, and they had approached me originally.
They did that before, too, didn't they?
It's similar, but not
Yeah.
to this scale. And they approached me and were looking for suggestions, and I had suggested Raven. So I think this is another phenomenal example of the businesses being a partner in the community.
Part of the
so-
community and everybody working together. That's how you get things done.
And the town clerk office agreed to have these forms available in her office, and I guess she'll accept these forms back with the money, I guess, I'm not sure, but it's $10, so, for a month.
So you fill out this form with $10,
And then you get a mug,
and you get a mug.
the nice mugs.
A nice mug. Is it a big mug?
It is.
Or is it just a
No,
little
it's also
coffee cup?
medium.
Oh,
It's also medium. So you get a 50% savings.
A 50% saving. All right, sounds good. Pick them up at the town clerk's office. sure they have them other places. All right, we have some tag days. Let's see, the BR, officially, the BR Music Boosters request a canning permit for October 8th on Walmart. And this is obviously, if you need any information, you can contact Jillian Griffin, Music Director for BR Regional. They do a great job with their music program. Great job. Police Association, Tag Day, Friday, November 23rd, Walmart for our annual collection for Secret Santa. And Morning Star Ministry in Taunton, October 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th for Tag Days.
Motion to approve.
That's it. All in favor? Aye. And that's it. Press time? Anything?
Nothing except just wondering maybe if there's a copy of the draft warrant maybe I can take with me to
Mark?
Yep. Sure can, Mark. No emergency business? No input from the citizens as we are alone? Adjournment?
Motion to adjourn, sign the bill, no business thereafter.
Second that motion?
All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.